Good morning and welcome back to a now very rainy Innsbruck. I'm Charlie Bosco with Mike Langley alongside me and very special guest Katja Vidmar, who's been a member of our route setting team here on the boulders. And Katja, it's been a huge route setting team and you've been here, what, 2 weeks? How's it been in Innsbruck?
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks actually. We started August 20 to the job, so it's been a little bit of everything. In general, a very good experience for me, but I'm also happy that it's done.
So we're just getting close to the start of the bouldering competition. First climber's actually out on the walls already. Straight into action here.
Katja, underway straight away here. Men's one.
Men's one. The plan is to have an easy start on both men and women's. We can see that the first guy already topped the first boulder, and also the girl did the dyno, so.
You can just see on the bottom right hand of your screen then the first women's problem then. You can see a really aesthetic boulder that you guys have set up for the climbers here. So you've gone for a kind of a mirrored affair. What's the inspiration when you come into setting these boulders? Obviously it was a few weeks ago since you set them. Why have you gone for the style that you've gone for here?
Sorry?
The style of this boulder, you've got it kind of really mirrored, quite confusing, lots of volumes, real hit the modern style nail on the head.
The first boulders are not super confusing and hard to read. It's an easy start for both men and women's. So we just played a little bit with the whole how does it look at the end. And I think it looks nice and we're off to an easier start. And the rest of the round is a little hard. It gets a little harder and with some more risky moves and hard to read problems. And we'll see how it goes.
It's really been a theme for the route setting team on the routes and the bouldering this week. You've gone for really aesthetic boulders, lots of big volumes. On this problem, you've kind of gone for the mirrored look. You really seem to have gone for a really arty style with the route setting this week.
In general, we wanted to have a nice looking problems for the Olympic format, to play a little more and maybe not think about so much about the ranking and stuff like that, because then it's also the lead and the whole calculation, but like around to be more enjoyable and nice to see and like this, yeah.
I think overall you must be pretty happy with your work this week. We saw the Youth B category yesterday, quite a lot of tops in that one, but last night in the juniors a great round of bouldering.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of everything. Like with some rounds we are very happy, and with some we would obviously change something now, but after it's finished it's easy to say what you want to change, and before you make some decisions, and you must stick with that and learn something from the bad rounds.
Yeah, as always, that's the thing about having multiple rounds. You can just concentrate on the action here. And just as we concentrate on the climber from USA, on that hard move up, we've seen her fall 3 or 4 times on that section there. It's just running out of time. You can hear
she should move her feet and use more the volumes, which look like a decoration, but you can actually stand on them and use them as footholds.
Yep.
And then move slowly to the top, which is a very good hold. I just think she's maybe rushing too much here.
This is the...
But the dyno is an easy one.
That dyno there.
Yeah, but nice for girls. Nice to start with. So welcome boulder. And like this, yeah, nice.
Top. So both boulders topped.
Yeah.
First climbers out. This is the Youth A combined. We saw 2 of these full competitions yesterday with the juniors and the youth B. This is the Olympic format combined. We already had the speed climbing for these athletes yesterday, and that was actually brought forward from today because of the weather, which here in Innsbruck, I'm very sad to say, has returned to grey sky and rain. But this is not a bouldering semi-final, not a bouldering final in itself. It's part of the Youth A combined. We'll talk more rankings later on.
Yeah, the weather is not very nice, but actually the conditions for climbing are not that bad. The only thing we had to worry about was to dry the mats, so it's not dangerous to fall. But all the holes are dry, and I think it's okay to climb.
Yeah, the wall stays quite dry here. It doesn't tend to get wet.
Yeah, as long as there's no wind, it stays dry. Yeah,
Flash
easy
from
for
women's too as well.
Vita. She's a strong climber from Slovenia. Nice.
Top as well on men's one. The top's coming thick and fast. How does it change how you set this combined format? How does it change the setting process versus just a normal boulder event?
I have to think about this. We said so much these days. Yeah, like I said before, we were maybe playing more with the looks and how the whole round looks, and maybe made it more. How should I put it? We also put some easier boulders because we were expecting that the climbers will be a little tired maybe today, but we also want to split the whole group and have some hard ones hopefully have some hard ones for the stronger guys and girls.
Yeah, it's something of a journey into the unknown for all of us, this new combined format. We're going to have inevitably some climbers who are better at speed, some who are better at lead, some are better at bouldering, so it does create a challenge for the route setters. At a Boulder World Cup, obviously you know you're setting just for boulderers, but now you're setting for quite a combination of climbers.
We had a combination, like we had an easy bouldering round and then a hard lead round, and then it was the opposite also. So I think we can play here a little bit more and to work together with the lead team more maybe for next time.
Just waiting the arrival of our next climbers. The format of this bouldering round in the Youth A is like a semi-final in a Boulder World Cup, so the climbers coming out at set times. It's not a case of when the last climber finishes you're onto the wall. We will have some spells like we currently have now of 2 minutes before the next climbers emerge, but in 2 minutes we will get our first chance to see Boulder 2. And I believe we were having a problem with your microphone at the start. I asked you how you found setting here in Innsbruck. Wow. It's been a marathon for you.
It's been like a mini marathon. It's been 3 weeks since we've been all here, and almost every day we had to set actually 120 boulders altogether. Which is not much to do in 3 weeks, but it's been quite a journey. It's been a little bit of everything. It's been very, very good. It's been a little like this and like that. So, but very good experience for me. And I'm happy that I came here and did the job.
"45 seconds before we see the next climbers out." You were just saying it's been a mini marathon, and of course the added element that you sit in for different age groups, climbers that you don't always know that well. You've then got a combined format which is new to everyone. It's been quite the challenge for the route setting team.
Yeah, it's been quite a challenge, and it's been a little bit of everything. But I think in general we did a pretty good job. I'm happy with the whole competition, how it turned out, and we had some really nice finals. And for the combined format, I don't know. I'm not really excited about the whole thing.
But interested to see how it goes. And what changes did you make after you saw the start list? Did you make any changes this morning?
We had the start list before. We made changes yesterday evening and just some really small changes today. It's usually not a very good idea to panic at the last moment and change everything. So we'll see what happens.
Arabella Jeriel, we saw her topping women's 1. She's back out onto number 2.
Ah, with the heel hook, nice.
First, I had a chance to have a look at men's 2 as well, the red volumes.
The red volumes, yeah, this is a little hard to read maybe. It can be a bit confusing, but now we are seeing Luchka on top 1 and now the red volumes are back. It can be confusing, and if you just pull a little harder and stay focused, you can get through the first part here.
One of our judges just scurrying across the stage. I hope there's no technical incident. Successful top as well on men's 1, Louis Gundolf.
And now jump. I hope this doesn't work. This big reach, it's a pretty sloppy hold on the volume, so you're supposed to jump to the right volume and catch this one with the left hand.
Luchka back out actually onto women's 1. As I said, we saw one of the IFSC officials scurrying inside, and he's brought her back out onto the boulder. Try and find out what that was all about.
Yeah, now we see Bella on the orange. It's many volumes in this one. It's a little hard to read. If you find the right sequence and some knee bars and heel hooks and toe hooks, it's not super hard, except the top gets pretty physical. But up to the bonus, it can be complicated, but if you're good at reading the sequence, it's not super hard. And Luchka just did the first one again.
Well, let's see. I assume that will be counted. Her previous one will be counted as an attempt. I'm not sure what the problem was. It looked like a good top out. We didn't pay too close attention. It looked fine to me, but we shall try and find you a replay. Peter Kuric, meanwhile. Slovakia, men's 2, we mentioned it, the red volumes.
Yeah, now we have to jump. This is much harder like this. It's you have to take a risk and jump for it, because on the right red volume it's a pretty good hold. So this one is just a catch, and it's way more physical to go this way as he tried now.
Yeah, we saw Kilian Fischhuber trying out this move earlier on. He's been a member of the route setting team as well. There's some very minor last minute changes being made to that move, to the big red triangular volume. We see Bella women's 2.
Yeah, the second part is pretty physical in the women's 2.
Just to let you know, the rain once again playing havoc with the electronics of the venue. We had a big power cut last night after the end of the live stream, and now we're having a problem with our clock, so my apologies. I will keep you up to date if time is becoming an issue. We can see it from our commentary box, but as I say, the electronics not enjoying the rain especially. Yeah, power cut around 11:30 and it kept coming on and off for about 10 seconds at a time. Slightly surreal. He's got 40 seconds left to figure this out. This looks a better method.
I think it's hard to match. The easiest way is to jump for sure, but you need to take a risk, and he doesn't want to take a risk, I guess.
If you're just joining us, we're live from Innsbruck, and now rainy Innsbruck, unfortunately. So the championships began in terms of weather, so they end. And this is the Youth A Bouldering as part of the Olympic combined format. We had a big change to our schedule. Their speed climbing actually took place yesterday, should have been today, but bad weather forced a change of schedule. And this is the bouldering section in the afternoon. All 20 athletes will compete in the lead. Just to let you know, by the way, we do only have 19 women in today's competition. Polina Aksenova did not climb in the speed climbing yesterday. We've been told by her team manager that she's not taking part in the competition. She didn't climb in the speed yesterday and she won't climb in the bouldering today. So just the 19 women, 20 men. Katja Vidmar alongside me. Very special guest. Member of the 8-person strong route setting team here in Innsbruck, just on the bouldering. Been an extraordinary effort. How many holds did Chief Route Setter Jackie Godoff say you use? 1,000 holds?
How many holds? I have no idea.
I think Jackie told me earlier in the week you might have used something in the region of 1,000.
Yeah, it must be something like that. It was many, and we didn't reuse much. Like maybe some bigger volumes that we reused many times, but otherwise we changed for every boulder different ones.
Another look at men's one. This has been getting plenty of tops so far, and it will get another one.
Yeah, we will see how the round will go. It's like a semi-final format, but not necessarily the one who starts later is not necessarily a better boulderer, because they had it's ranked by the speed, you know.
Exactly.
So we'll see. Now we see Vita near the top, but she's actually a very strong boulderer, and she's not very good in speed. And she just did the top match. Yes.
So Vita, successful top for her. Eva Maria Hammelmuller, Austria, getting some good support. You expect nothing less from the local crowd. Another successful top, women's one.
This is easy to miss in the men's. It's like many holds, and you're not sure where is the best part. It's not a super hard move, but a little more precision, and you're not sure where the good part it is. So it's easy to miss. Easy to make some mistakes.
So again, we're looking at men's boulder 2. Boulders 1 and 2 both on the right hand side of the stage here in Innsbruck. Those of you who watched our coverage last night, you'll be pleased to hear that the Olympic ring volumes on the left hand side of the wall have stayed up. They don't form part of any boulders, but they look so nice and got left in place. Sungmin Hwam of Korea, there he is on men's 2. Will he fancy the jump? And our clock's back, I'm pleased to say.
Come on. Oh.
So, got around 1 minute 15 left to figure this one out. See our camera shaking slightly. Bit of wind accompanying the rain here in Innsbruck. Luckily, certainly as far as the bouldering wall's concerned, the rain coming from behind the wall. So even the mats are staying dry. Water not encroaching too badly just yet. Lining up the moves to the left. Now heading up towards that series of 4 holds, and now it's a triangular volume. Will he? Oh, he looked like he fancied the jump for just a second. Decides against it. He decides to head back in with a bit of time left on the clock. Katja, you saying you get nervous before people watching people climb your boulders.
Yeah, I get. I mean, it's more like a little bit of adrenaline rush, like, and I get sweaty fingertips. But I think that's good. If I would stay indifferent about it, then it means that you don't really care. So I like this feeling.
So first chance as well to see men's and women's 3 over on the left-hand side of the stage.
Yeah, for the women we have a dyno, like a bam bam bam, 1 2 3. Around the corner, it's a little hard to see. It's a little blind, and you don't have to jump as much. But she did really nice here.
Is that pretty much the easiest method?
It's the way to do it, like she did it. She did it really good now. Good job.
It's not really a jump. You kind of lean to the left and then commit.
You have to slow it down as much as possible so you don't get so much swing. But at some point you just have to tap tap tap, go for it.
She's done that absolutely perfectly.
And for the men, it's not super hard, but it's really hard to flash, I think.
So you think the climbers will be using a few attempts on this one?
Yeah. Maybe we'll have a few flashes of the good ones, the stronger guys, but in general it's quite hard to flash this because it's a move you need to learn maybe. And the way he's doing it, it's kind of hard. You need to take more swing. Now we see the Austrian on the red. Like I said, the start is confusing, but you just need to push a little and through this mess of holes. In the women's, we see in the right corner, there's actually a knee bar. If you find it, she just found it, and it's way easier to get through here now. And he needs to take more swing here. This is also possible, but
I was about to ask if you tried it this way.
It's possible to do it this way. If you're flexible enough to put the foot up. He is. Okay. Now he has to turn around again.
There's the Olympic rings I was mentioning, those colourful volumes at the top of the wall. Just for aesthetics today.
Yes, nice.
So now he goes up to the left, that's the bonus hold.
Now it's not super hard. I think he will top the boulder.
Maybe across that enormous purple volume, it's a pretty good finish hold. Don't celebrate too early.
Match first.
So we're just bringing you up to date on the scores. Every climber in the women's competition has topped number 1. Ditto in the men's. They've actually flashed it. David Picoruaz of Italy is back in, so I'm just going to confirm that he did it as well. Powerful second bowler for the women.
Now she needs to heel hook and go for the little. There's actually little holes up there, and then it's hard to. You really need to keep the tension and switch from heel to toe. Yes, that's the way to do it. That's the easiest way, I think. But also easy to miss.
There's Luchka. We mentioned she had.
She looks tired.
Yeah, she had some issue with her top out on women's one. She was awarded the top, but it was on her second go. Didn't get another chance to see that, but there was obviously some issue with the top. But before she'd had it confirmed, she disappeared back in.
And on the orange one, if you make many tries, it's really tiring because every move is like so powerful and lots of body tension and compressing the volumes.
It's another chance to look at third boulders. Arabella Jariel got this one first go in the women's. Petr Kuric, that was his fifth go when we saw him top out. 4 minutes 30. 5 minutes for the climbers to get these done.
Yeah, Vita went around the corner with her right hand first, but it's actually harder. It's better to go left, right, left.
Vita looking pretty strong on women's three, and that's the top. There is David.
Yeah, we don't see it, but Vita just goes for the top hold and finishes the number 3.
Yeah, another look at men's three here. No, not this time, as I say. Took Petr 5 attempts. Got it on his 5th go. Again, we see men's 2. Yet to be top this one. As we've just heard, the best way is to jump, but it is committing. None of the climbers have been that convinced by the jump.
Yeah, it's tempting to take this one because it's closer to you and you can see it and you can see the holds. But I think it's a harder way to do the problem.
So every climber now flashed boulder number 1 in the men's competition. Over in the women's, all climbers have done boulder number 1, but not necessarily first go. It was done first go by 2 climbers. Out of 6 so far. Still not liking that jump. We saw it done statically earlier.
Yeah, it's better to, when you take the starting position, you touch the volume with both feet, and then you really start to swing your whole body, and then bam, bam, bam.
See it again? No.
No, not enough swing.
So you need more momentum.
Yeah, like you just start to swing with your on these volumes, and then you jump from it.
1:10 left on the clock for these climbers.
Yeah, because this hold looks really good. It is actually, but it's really hard to stop here. So it's better to take more momentum, more swing, and go all the way to the volume up there.
This, I keep wanting to call it a semi-final. It's not a semi-final. It's part of the combined category. It's just so reminiscent of a semi-final. But this round beginning to take shape now. In the women's competition, Vita Lucan, 3 tops for her, requiring 5 attempts so far. Nobody with 3 tops in the men's just yet. This men's 2 remains unconquered as yet.
I think some will do it, but it's the harder one.
So another quick substitution in the commentary box. Mike Langley back here. Charlie Bosco just having a look at some technical details on the laptop. Rain playing havoc with all of our technology. Sveta Lukan currently leading the way then from Slovenia. 3 tops in 5 attempts. Abea Jeriel just behind her, 2 tops in 5 attempts. We get to see the first climbers out on the far left-hand side of the wall then. Another really aesthetic boulder here. We've been told it's not a slab. What's your take on it?
The slab? The slab for man 4 is first it's a really easy start, but it's all about balance. So you have to move your feet on all these red volumes and take the little holes that are actually really bad and also a bit blocked. So it's really balancy, and we'll see how the guys will do this.
Just having another look.
Yeah, Luchka is on the top of number 3. Good job.
Yeah, Luchka Rakovic. Another top from her. That'll be 2 tops in not too many attempts from her. She's looking really good. Disappointing speed round from her yesterday. A bit of a technical incident. Couldn't decide whether it was a false start or a technology issue. Here we go. This is the boulder that we were talking about. Jörg Verhoeven yesterday was saying that he thought it was actually a vertical wall, not a slab. So it's always a long debate whether it's a vertical or a slab or not.
Now with the volumes it's a slab because the volumes are sticking out, but actually it's vertical, yeah. There's no real slab on this wall. It's very, very overhang.
Good round of boulders so far. Lots of attempts getting burnt. Nobody going through the round at this stage with lots of flashes. The order here is based on the qualification round. Just having a look, we're just trying to figure out exactly what the starting order is based on. Good top on the right hand side as well. Seeing, like you said earlier, lots of tops in the first couple of boulders. So we want to see a nice easy start. It's always nice to the route setters put on something that's kind of gives a chance for these really nervous climbers when they come out. It's just something to get stuck into just off the ground. Sometimes we don't see that in some of the rounds, but the route setters, you guys seem to be pretty fair today to give them a nice challenge early on in the competition.
So now we see the slab. It's really easy to miss this one, and you should balance the move on your foot, not so much going for the handhold, but more stop there and balance it, because it's a really, really bad hold.
Just have another look at effort on the jump there. We're not seeing any real successes on that jump yet. It seems to be a really hard one for the climbers to read. Easy for us to say what the method is from back here in the commentary box, but the climbers are down there facing it real time.
Yeah, and it's only 4 minutes. It goes really fast.
So onto the slab then. Using the top edge of the right hand side of the wall there to his advantage, just pushing out. Was that a method you intended?
Yeah, it's exactly like this. And now you have to balance.
So you're saying it's better to match the feet and then get across?
No, stop here, then match the feet forward.
Okay, concentrating back on the right hand side on the orange boulder. Just seen some of the climbers walking off with huge amounts of skin loss on their left knees from the knee bars on this boulder. This is looking good though, it's looking positive. Good fight, but just slipped off the top. What's the conditions like out there? Is there some moisture on the volumes at all in the air?
It's actually pretty good to climb. I tried the holds today morning.
Completely different method, just sorry to interrupt you
this
there.
Is really hard. I don't think it works. But you have to try.
It was a good idea. He was running out of options here with 42 seconds left.
I think he was pretty good in the position before, but he's just rushing a little too much. And now we see the women's number 4. It's a little hard to read, but now she's
How to read it? I had a look at this boulder just before the round started. It looked like you say, really hard to read, quite difficult as well, really bad slopers. So the screw-ons that you put on there are absolutely dreadful, and that first move super cool off the right toe hook.
Yeah, and you actually keep the toe hook. What you need to do is move your left foot up on the orange one as soon as possible, and maybe readjust, if you're not very tall, readjust the toe on the starting hold.
Another rotation starts then. Another round of 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off. That means climbers have just 5 minutes to tackle these boulders. 5 minutes rest between each of them. They head backstage at the door in the middle of the wall here.
We'll see how Vita does in number 4. She has 3 tops so far. Maybe she can top the last one as well and have a really good round in bouldering after the bad speed start.
Yeah, she would really redeem herself after the speed. She was really upset with her performance in the speed. It's so easy to have a technical issue or a timing issue.
And she had a hard competition so far. It was not. I don't think she planned it this way. She wanted more for sure, and I think now she's relaxed and she has nothing to lose, and she just said, "Okay, I'm gonna go for it, and what happens happens." And so far, so good for her.
Vita Luke, and then keeps that right toe hook in. Manages to secure the bonus already. Gets it again now. You see her just in the centre of your screen, just as we cut away. Another top on women's number 1 on the really aesthetic black volumes. Tops coming thick and fast now, but nobody going through the round with ease. A good fight put on for here by the route setting team. Looks like they've got the order just right. David Pickelroo having a look at this jump then on the men's. No successes on this move so far. Happy on the bonus hold, but it's really hard with those dual texture feet on the volume to find the right method. Christian Dorigatti finds the top also on men's number 1. He had a really good run in the speed yesterday, was looking on really good form until he slipped on his final run, his second run of 2. So just a pause in the action. All climbers currently standing on the mats or returned back to the isolation zone. Seems to be kind of the perfect round so far. Katja, you must be pretty happy with your work.
Yeah, I think it's a nice round. I hope all the problems will be topped. We're still waiting for the top in men's number 2 and the slap and the women's number 4.
It must be. It's quite interesting, really. Such a mixed bag of athletes, really. In the women's, you've still got Brooke Rabatu and Ashima Shirashi coming out. There's some really big names still to come out and fight on these problems, with Vita Lucan already looking good on the 4th boulder. Currently got 3 tops in 5 attempts, so it could be, there's a chance, it's hard to know at this stage, but it could be 4 tops that gets you through maybe.
2 minutes.
These climbs will go on to the lead competition. Ranking points so important. This is the Olympic combined format here. This is a sort of traditional semi-final bouldering looking round, but it's all about your finishing position in this round. And we just see on the left-hand side, it's really close to the top.
It's
but
not really good to jump for the top hold. It's a good hold, but it's turns like an sideways and as an undercling. So it's better if, to actually match on the arête and go slowly for the top.
A really nervy finish move. So easy when you've put so much effort to get across that position, just to think that you could just fire up to the finish hole, but it's really
you need to keep being patient up to the last move.
Croatian athlete on the orange problem now. She's put a couple of really good burns into this, but another big dismount. We've seen some crazy falls already in this round, a really athletic set of boulders and some big dismounts.
Yeah, you need to squeeze real hard with your whole body here, with the heel, with the everything, body tension.
Here we go, she's up for another go, no rest. She's just got 30 seconds left. She must be burning from the previous effort.
Just
Looks
tired.
really tired.
And the Italian guy just did the jump. Italian, yeah.
Just out
we
of your
missed that.
shot. Good top from David.
Come on.
And on the far left-hand side, just drops off. Was in perfect balance, but couldn't get it together. He had a really good burn. Couldn't get quite to the top of the wall.
So unfortunately we just had to say goodbye to Katja Vidmar. Charlie Bosco back with Mike Langley in the commentary box. Element of deja vu after yesterday.
Yeah, I think everybody in the arena is suffering a little bit. The rain's not really helped everybody's morale. It's been a humongous effort from everybody to get this competition going at the end of what has been a staggering week for a lot of people. And it's been a really good round, really good opportunity to see this Olympic combined format in action. And this group here, the Youth A, they are the ones who have the potential to qualify for the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires, Brazil next year. 13 climbers can qualify for that event. It's not guaranteed that the top 13 automatically get their ticket. See, a lot of climbers struggling in the midsection here. It really looks like a stern set of boulders, but it seems to be the way that once you get to grips with the method, you can slowly start coming towards the top of the wall. And yeah, this is what I really want to see from bouldering. See a top, another top in women's number 3. Seems to be one of the easier round. Boulders number 1 and boulder number 3. Currently receiving a number of tops. It's 2 and 4 that are currently causing issues. No tops so far in women's number 4. Only seen 2 climbers, third climber out on it at the moment. Nikola Uznik then finds a top for Austria. Local MC still got bags of energy after a mammoth day yesterday, getting the crowd going.
Well, they've actually got substitute venue MCs, believe it or not. To be honest, I can understand why. They've had a... What day are we on now? 11? Who knows? They've had their work cut out now, that's for sure. So still plenty of action on the stage. 6 climbers still up there. Gundov. This is his last boulder, number 4. Got number 1. Nothing since then. Not been topped yet, this men's 4. We were just mentioning earlier about the starting order. The starting order is actually done from the combined ranking from the Youth World Championship.
Yeah, sorry about that. There's a little bit of confusion there earlier.
Well,
just scratching our heads a little bit.
Yeah, part of the issue was we were told by an official that it would be from the speed climbing. It's actually from the combined ranking of the Youth World Championships, which was last week in Innsbruck.
That's a good burn there by Luka Rakovic. That's the method Katja Vidmar said that she intended, so it's really interesting to keep the right toe in for 3 moves in a row there. It'd be interesting to see how the shorter climbers get on with that. Really shorter, strong climbers, Brooke Rabatou and Ashima Shirashi still to come out. I wonder if they can find a method through that. It's terrible, terrible holds. Have to keep the tension on the feet.
Yeah, I was just saying about the starting order. It's done on the combined ranking from the Youth World Championship last week in Innsbruck, so it does mix things up slightly. Not quite as much as if we'd had the top speed climbers starting last in the bouldering, but it's certainly a more randomised start order than we might have seen. But Ashima Shirashi in the women's competition will be out last, preceded only just by Brooke Rabatou, and Philip Schenk will be out last in the men's. Keita Dohi just ahead of him.
Just under 40 seconds in for Rakovic to get this done. You can see there the right toe straining under the weight. She's got to keep pulling through the front of the leg, and exactly the same as the method before, just comes up short. sort of holds you really can't put any fury through because they're so bad. She looks like she's going to go on for another go then. See, these climbers just have 5 minutes on these boulders. She's fighting for everything she's got here. This is women's number 4, but don't forget they do have a round of lead climbing to do after this. She's opting for having another go, try and improve her position as best as possible. Overall ranking here is based on your position, each round multiplied together to give you your overall ranking score. Hannah Mule's going to start her campaign then. Out on women's number 1, seen a few tops on that one so far.
For those of you just tuning in, this is Youth A combined. This is the bouldering section of a huge combined competition. We had the speed climbing yesterday and we'll have the lead climbing later on today. This is the Olympic format. 13 athletes from these 20. And of course the men's and the women's 20, the men 20 and the women's 13 from each will qualify for selection for the Youth Olympic Games next year in Buenos Aires. So a lot at stake here.
Looks like Hannah Mule's going to find her top. She's climber number 10 of 20, so around halfway through these climbers starting the boulders. Good top from her. It's actually the 9th top we've seen on boulder number 1, so top's coming thick and fast on that one. Every climber who's come out onto the stage has also done men's number 1. Nice top there from Croatian athlete. She struggled on number 2 but gets it topped. That's Yanni Zoraj.
3 minutes 15 left on the clock for these climbers. Semi-final of a World Cup format. It has the feel of a semi-final. It's hard to remember in a way that it isn't because it's such a familiar setup, but slightly randomised starting order because it's come from the combined in the Youth World Championships, and also lead climbing to come for these athletes this afternoon. Again, the jump method not proving popular.
What's interesting about this round as well is the route setters had to adapt the difficulty. They were initially going to have the speed round this morning, but that got pushed forward to yesterday due to the weather it received. The rain looks like it may be holding off a little bit. Fingers crossed on that one. Some British optimism there, I think.
Yeah, I think if you live in England, that has to be your attitude. Good on you, Mike. So, Mark Kiat, Singapore, he's on men's 4. This is yet to see a top this boulder. Men's 3 has only seen 1. Petr Kuric climbed first and topped it. And I thought we might see a flurry of tops. Anything but.
Vita Lucan currently leading the way with 3 tops in 5 attempts. A really good round for her. Couldn't find a top on women's number 4. Got the bonus first go.
Now we see the women's scores. Apologies, earlier on we saw the wrong ones, but now they are correct. Vita Lucan, you can see it there leading the way. Luchka just behind us at Slovenia 1 and 2 at this early stage. 20 climbers in the men's competition, 19 in the women. See the women's results coming across there. As I mentioned earlier, Polina Aksanova didn't compete in the speed. Her team manager says she's not competing. She didn't compete in the speed, she won't compete here in the bouldering. So just 19 women, 20 men. And this looks hopeful on men's 4, but it's so tenuous as you drift over to the left. Jorg Verhoeven, who was up with Mike and myself in the commentary box yesterday, was saying this is actually a slab. If it is a slab, it's only just. It's a very, very steep slab. It's very tenuous. Have to keep the body absolutely pinned into the wall.
This is looking really good though. We believe he needs to go to the arete. Oh, somehow sticks it, uses his height to his advantage there. Just manages to hold the tension, pushes up into that top hole. We thought the method was going to be going out to the arete. Interesting to see if some of the smaller climbers in this Youth A category can do the same method. Yeah, spectacular. That's what the local MC said. I have to agree. This is looking good now on women's 4, just running out of time.
5 minutes starts again for the next climbers. Full stage here in Innsbruck. You can see there, boulders 1 and 2 on the right, 3 and 4 on the left. Most of the climbers opting before they do any climbing to give the holds a quick brush already at that stage where there's been enough competitors through that the holds will be getting a bit dirty.
Yeah, especially with these vinyl covered mats here. Climbers come out from the backstage, it's bound to have dirt and chalk and dust on their shoes. Really builds up on the mats. Saw a few of the climbers last night bringing out towels, and Will Bosey actually came out with a pair of spare trousers. Chuck those on the mats. Nice easy top here. Another top on women's number 1. Laura Lammer, no issues for her. Perfect start to her campaign, just over a minute to climb the first boulder. Petro Biagini also atop. Seems to be the theme of the day. Looks like men's and women's number 1 are definitely going to be boulders you need to get done if you're going to have a good ranking at the end of this round going into the lead.
Yeah, interesting enough, it's been done first time by every climber boulder 1. Real spread in the men's competition. We're just waiting for confirmation of Pietro Biagini. I'm pretty sure that was first time. I'll let you know as it comes through. But interestingly enough, the route setters seem to have set, particularly in the men's. Yeah, it was first time for Pietro. It's just flashed through. The route setters seem to have come up with a relatively straightforward start for the men, and then very hard afterwards in the women's. Another top of number 3. Again, that's a boulder you're going to need to get done if you want to feature in the business end of the rankings. So this is part of the Olympic format. If you didn't see our coverage yesterday, this is what in the Olympics will be the qualifying round, where you have 20 climbers, and that will then be narrowed down to 6 for the final round. And in both rounds, the way it works is your score from each discipline is your ranking. So if, for example, you're first in the speed, your score is 1. If you're 20th in the speed, your score is 20. You get a score like that from every discipline, and then they're multiplied together to give your eventual score. So if you're first, third and fifth, your score will be 1 times 3 times 5, 15. Just over 2 minutes left on this rotation. I was just saying about the men. Route setters have given them a massive challenge on every boulder, apart from number 1, it would seem. Every climber has done boulder number 1 on their first go. And then since then, boulder 2's only been topped once, boulder 3's only been topped once, and boulder 4's only been topped once. So the climbers might have been fooled into thinking they had a bit of an easy day in the men's side of things. They will soon realise the error of their ways once they get onto boulders 2, 3 and 4.
Yeah, confidence definitely high after boulder number 1. Come out, steamed it, think they were on an absolute flyer, and then proceed to get shut down on the next boulders. But got quite a long way to go still in this round. There's quite a lot at stake here. It's an opportunity to get your ticket for the Youth Olympic Games next year. So they will be giving everything they've got.
Yeah, we talked about this a bit yesterday. The Olympic format, absolutely brand new. Yesterday was the first time it had ever been used. Very historic day in the history of competition climbing. But the subtleties of it and how athletes will manage their energy, how tactics will begin to be employed, we are yet to figure out. It's, as I said, uncharted territory for just about everyone, and the subtleties of it not immediately clear.
Looks like we're heading for a top on men's number 3. That's excellent work.
Yeah, another top on men's 3, and coming a bit thicker and faster now. Let's have a look. Yeah, preferred the jump method.
Yeah, the sort of a jump downhill there. Not sure if that's technically a downwards dyno, because that would be an illegal move. It's more of a running flop down to a hold. Route set is intended to be a... Well, there's all sorts of methods available on that one. That's quite cool about that.
Di Chung Huang gets the top on men's number 3. That very tricky run, and once again, number 2 gets done. So now the boulder's beginning to fall, and not just number 1.
Yeah, Nick finds a top there. That'd be 2 tops for him. Puts him into the 2 top club, and not many attempts. That might put him up to a provisional lead. We'll wait for the scores to update.
Down in 3rd right now. One more attempt required than David Pekolraz to get his 2 tops. You can see there, left to right, it's men, men, women, women, men, men, women, women. That's men's 2 on the left, then men's 1, women's 2 and women's 1. You can see the scores coming across the top of the screen. I mentioned about David Pekolraz. 2 tops for him, 4 attempts required to get them. Every climber up until now has got this first boulder on their very first go in the men's competition. In the women's, just 1 climber unable to top number 1 up until now. Yiling Song of China. We're about to see another successful top. We are.
Good top there from Alexandra Koluka.
Could be about to see another top. I think we are. Men's 2. Yeah, Petr Ivanov gets the job done. Men's 4 meanwhile. Still just seen the 1 top.
This is going to be the boulder that's going to see you through to the lead with a really good ranking, I think. It's all going to come down to this slab. So we see David tackle it now. Seems to be finding a perfect balance position now, but he's got to get moving. Looks like he's eyeing up the finish hold. Is going to go quite dynamically. Terrible finish hold there. Oh, exactly the same as we saw the method earlier. That was good. Rolled into it with the right hand. Just managed to slow it down. Super, says the local MC. Indeed.
Petr Ivanov very briefly had the lead. He was 2 tops in 2 attempts there, but he's already been displaced by David Pekolraz. That top of number 4 sees him take an early lead. Remember, of course, this is Olympic combined format. This is not a boulder semi-final, although it looks just like one, the format the same, but it might make quite a difference to tactics, because if you're in a boulder semi-final and you realise quite early on that you're not going to be in the top 6, your mindset perhaps slightly changes. Maybe there's not that much difference between 11th and 12th. In this format, it could be absolutely critical. So we debated whether we might see climbers, once they'd secured their position, stop attempting a boulder. For example, yesterday we saw Meiichi Narasaki not perhaps giving 100% on the final boulder on his first few attempts because he knew his position was secure. The reverse might also be true. He might absolutely give it everything just to move up 1 place in what in a bouldering semi-final might be irrelevant, might be 13th or 14th, but could be absolutely critical in this format. So, as I've been saying, it's a new format for everyone, and there will be subtleties and tactics employed as climbers gradually begin to figure it out, and we see the scoring system used a few more times.
Yeah, Georgy Morozov from Russia, one of the first athletes to struggle on men's number 1. Not the ideal start from him. See Hannah Mule giving it maximum on female number 2 and putting a lot of skin on the line as well. We've seen female athletes really coming off the wall, looking shredded across the legs. Good day to be wearing trousers. This is looking better now from Georgy. Just under a minute left for him. Looks like he's found the method now. This big blade, this left hand 360 hold. Just struggling with the feet again. It seems to be the feet that's causing him issues here. That's better. I think he just needs to power up to the top hold now. He needs to go with confidence. Looks like he's trying to find options for the right heel. Seen earlier climbers just pounce off a right spear on the volume. It's not looking like the ideal start for him.
And now the stage almost empty. Hannah Moore heads back in. Georgi Morozov pulls back onto men's one. May become the first climber not to do the boulder at all. He will. Everyone else not only did it, but did it first time. That could certainly be an issue for him in terms of ranking. He puts himself at a huge disadvantage very early on. Mikel Molina is out of Spain.
It's good to see Elena Kralskaya joins us from Russia, the overall world champion from Paris 2016. Yeah, she won the overall in the senior category. She's a bit of a specialist in all three disciplines. See how she gets on, still in the Youth A category.
Cruising the first boulder, it would seem. More often than not being done first go by most climbers. It looks very complex, there's volumes everywhere. Meanwhile, you might be able to hear the venue MC going fairly crazy behind us because Nikolai Uznik is closing in on a top on men's 3. We'll keep you up to date. Elena Krasovskaya tops women's 1.
She had to just find the right body position there. It looks like she was struggling with those top two. A couple of screw-ons on top of that volume. Looks like she was just struggling with it a little bit, but managed to get it in the end.
Nikolai Uznik, got boulder 3 on his first go. Let's have another look. Here he is. So this is the swing method. Needs plenty of momentum. It looks easy when you know how.
Yeah, that was the method the route setters were really looking for. A really wild move, really good circus kind of boulder.
Yeah, we saw it done semi-statically with minimal commitment, but that is when you give it 100% commitment and you are rewarded.
That's really the modern style boulder in a nutshell there in men's number 3. A double dyno with a double leg swing start. Wouldn't have seen that when Jackie Godolph started route setting back in the 80s. How the styles changed over the years, really fascinating.
So Nikolai Uznik, who we just saw a replay of, has now topped the first 3 boulders. He's the first climber to do that. David Pekolruaz in a very provisional first place in the rankings for this bouldering. He topped 3 boulders, but he didn't get number 3 done. So Nikolai Uznik currently in a unique position of having done the first 3.
Just got a glimpse of a quick top there from Song from China. Women's number 3.
Irina Varick not enjoying that one. Women's 4.
It's interesting to see Irina Varick when she walked off from the speed competition yesterday. I just kept an eye on her as she walked through the courtyard. Absolutely stormed out the arena after losing her race. Very passionate climber. I want to get in her way as she walked across the arena, but she looks like she's managed to regain her composure heading into the bouldering, into the second day of the combined competition for the Youth A. I think the speed got brought forward to yesterday.
10.67 she clocked in that speed climbing competition. In the Olympic format, of course, you're not racing the person next to you, you're racing the clock, but even so, one bad run puts real pressure on the second. We saw some climbers not quite get it right on the second one either. It's not actually that many attempts at something as complicated as the speed climbing route.
Irina Varick then searching for the first top in women's number 4. Sveta Lukin currently sitting at the top of the pile. Should be ranked first as it stands with 3 tops in 5 attempts. Plenty of climbers still to come though. Some very big names in both categories. Just fighting the body tension on the right hand side there. As soon as she releases that right toe, she's off. Going to be fascinating to see, like I said earlier, some of the shorter climbers on that. This is looking good now on women's number 2.
Yeah, Laura Lammer, she's heading potentially for the top. Burning a lot of energy though. If this is not successful, she will be short on time for another go. Di Ching Huang of China onto men's 4.
Men's 4 is really interesting. It seems to be either you can find the balance point and start pushing in the corner, or you're just nowhere. Quite a lot of athletes just can't get established on those volumes at all, can't seem to get stood up.
Recently in the IFSC bouldering, we've seen some of these parkour style boulders with runs, and initially it looks like one of those boulders. It is not at all.
Yeah, it's more of a conventional slab. You have to be really slow and steady, control your breathing, concentrate on the feet.
Irina Varick was just using every second of her allowed time, which is not successful on women's 4.
Selina Schäuble from Austria joins us then. Another Austrian here in the top 20 from the overall this week in the World Youth Championships. So these climbers competed in all 3 disciplines. It's the top 20 ranked climbers. See women's 4 there. You can see the 4 stripes of tape. Make sure all 4 points get on board there.
Mizuki Tajima is out onto the stage on men's 1. He's on the left-hand side of his shot right now. And that looks like a pretty regulation top of women's 1. Once she had that hand on the top of the right hand, she wasn't going to miss from there.
Really interestingly, no female athletes from Japan in the Youth A top 20. Something's happened in the team setup there.
Yeah, they had extraordinary, unprecedented success in Youth B. Now then, what are we seeing here on men's 4?
I've seen this attempted once earlier. We had Katja Wittmar with us, one of the route setter team, having a look. Christian Dorigati also having a look. She said basically it's impossible to do that method. Does not seem happy at all in there. You can see the chalk build up on the right hand side, or the capped roof I should say. Oh, fine catch down on men's number 3. That was nice. Going for the low down dyno, catching the lower hand, controlling it and then moving. That's a really powerful method of doing it. This is looking good now.
Yeah, Petr Ivanov could also join the 3 tops from the first 3 boulder club. There it is for him. Superb start for the semi-final. I think that was his second go. We'll confirm as it comes through.
Yeah, going back to what we were saying, yeah, no female Japanese in this group of Youth A in the overall. It's just 3 Japanese men as well. It's looking good for a top. Oh, manages to stick it. She was in a bit of trouble there for a second. Valentina Aguado gets it done.
First top of women's 4.
Yeah, you can see from the smile on the face, she probably knows it as well. That was a really hard boulder. Fine top. It's going to put her in a good position. We'll just check where that leaves her. Puts her into second place with 2 tops in 2 attempts. It's boulder number 2. Has only been tops once by Vita Lucan.
We're getting to that stage of these boulder rounds where the stage becomes empty earlier and earlier on in the round. Higher ranked climbers coming out, boulders getting done quicker and quicker. We've got just 3 climbers left on the stage from an original 8. So let's see this again, men's 4.
Christian Dorigati then on men's number 4. He seems to have found the method now, pushing up into that roof groove. Can he find the balance points then? He's got the clock, you can see it's just down to his left hand side there. Hopefully he won't focus on that, because this is the boulder, you can't rush. He's got to take your time. He needs to be getting his feet across to the left hand side. Go to the bonus and then match feet. Seen a couple of successes on this boulder. A love-hate relationship with the slabs, a lot of these climbers, no doubt. Goes to the bonus, but goes fast. You can see him pushing. He has to push fast out the corner to get the distance down and left with that method. In doing so, pushes himself straight off the wall. Unfortunately, it has to go slow, this boulder. Morozov's on men's number 2 then. He really struggled with men's number 1. No top for him. Hopefully he can find something on the second boulder. Bumps up to the bonus hold now. Another really aesthetic looking climb here, and the route setters want them to jump. That's the successes we've seen on this boulder.
Alexandra Kaluchka, no joy for her on women's 2. We're about to see another top on men's 4. I think time will be up. It's so tenuous.
It's that sort of boulder. It's like a slow death as you push over to the hold and slowly fall off the boulder. And that moment it clicks when you know you're off, but it still takes a good 3 or 4 seconds to fall off properly. You just, oh dear.
Always like it when competition climbing relates to the recreational climate. It's a very familiar feeling. The centre of gravity moves away from the wall. You have half a second where you think, I might rescue this, and then a couple of seconds where you know full well that you can't. Laura Gora onto women's number 1.
That's good for a moment there. I thought she was going to go statically up with the left hand, or have a look at going statically anyway, because she had the left heel in. That famous try-hard face of Laura Gora.
Shooter Tanaka's on the stage as well on men's 1. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen on the black volumes, and Laura Gora will not waste too much time. Not sure what's happened to our clock, but that was with 4 minutes left on the clock. She'd only used 1 minute of her time.
Laura Lama also looking good now for another top in women's number 3. Just needs to find the balance position over on the right leg. Struggling a little bit. Looks like she's just going to power it out. Oh, just about hits it with the shoulder of the right hand.
One of the best climbers of these IFSC Youth A Bouldering Championships.
Are we about to see another top here on number 4? We're not going to see one on women's 2. We cut back to number 4. No joy. Let's have another look. The swing method being employed once again. Pietro Biagini makes it work. Men's 3, purple holds. Shouldn't miss from here, you wouldn't imagine. Just needs to correct the feet, cross through. It's a big hole he's going for, and he latches it. Nicely done. Nikolai Uznik, he's on men's 4. Almost feel even in the commentary box you have to whisper for fear of disturbing the climbers. Such tenuous moves. You can see the Olympic rings, the volumes above him, as I say. They were from a boulder last night in the male juniors, but just for aesthetics today. Lena Krasovskaya. Women's 2, orange volumes. Up to the bonus hold. Still plenty of moves to go though, and plenty of energy to burn. We're talking about the combined format. Still got to lead climb this afternoon. Boulders like this not doing her any favours. Taking a lot out of the shoulders and biceps.
Yeah, taking a lot of skin as well on these climbs. Just wrapping those volumes really savage on the palms of the hands. Definitely won't help on the slopers of the routes later on. Nice dismount on men's number 4. Nearly head planted into the volume there. 10 out of 10 for the dismount. So it's just over a minute left on this rotation.
And pulls back on for another attempt on women's number 2. Got number 1 first go, as I have to say, as have most of the climbers. Burning up a lot of energy here. 40 seconds left for her to get this done. You can see her there, right hand side of your screen. Mikel Molina on the left. And the red volumes, not exactly been busy on that boulder either.
See him just having a quick look up there at the right hand. He knows what he's got to do. He's eyeballing it. There's just 18 seconds left. Has a look at his options, but still having a look at his options. Tries to go again with the left hand route set to make sure that's not really a possible move. Too much speed going up with the left hand to such a terrible hold. Got to get the jump, got to get the jump into the compression. It's Valentino Guarda leading the way then with 3 tops in 3 attempts from Argentina. Peter Lucan down into second. Also 3 tops, 5 attempts.
So we're not looking for finalists like we normally are when we have 20 climbers competing on boulders. We're just looking for ranking. So every attempt, every bonus attempt could be absolutely crucial.
Austrians out on the mat on women's 1 and 2 at the moment.
Sandra Lettner on the right. And Selina Schäuble on the left on the orange volumes. Top of your screens, there's the scores coming across as they stand. Valentina Guardo had an excellent lead climbing campaign in the Youth A's earlier this week in the Youth World Championships at this same venue here in Innsbruck.
Selina Schäuble firing up, women's number 2 at the moment. It's only 1 top from that on that boulder at the moment, but we know it's this top section that's causing all the problems. And Youth A Pan, no problem for him. Men's number 1. Oh, just on the men's number 2 then. Mizuki Tajima, first Japanese athlete we've seen on men's number 2. This is looking good. On the far left hand side of the wall, goes slowly and nicely up. Men's number 4, that was good. Petr Ivanov from Bulgaria gets it done. That was a really nice effort as well. Seemed to slow it down quite a lot. Hannah Mule then tackling women's number 4 and looking really strong as she does it. This is looking good here for Hannah Mule. She's currently sitting in 3rd position with 2 tops in 2 attempts. Can she find the next method now? And just as I say, that left foot slips. Terrible hold that she's trying to get through there, and it was a left foot that went. Kluchka looks good now on 3. Just comes off the finishing hold. Action coming thick and fast now in this Youth A combined bouldering round. 20 athletes made it through from the World Championships overall. 13 of these athletes will be invited to the the Olympic Youth Games next year in Buenos Aires. So a really exciting opportunity for these young athletes. Born 2000 or 2001. Many of these athletes have been climbing years and years already. These days they seem to start younger and younger, and you can see that in the technique of these athletes. Have been competing for many, many years already. Someone like Shauna Cox, who started competing when she was just 3 years old. I should say started climbing when she was 3 years old. Competing at 3 years old would be a hell of a competition, but yeah, competing some of the youngest age categories. Nowadays Youth E, age 9 and 10, who see a nice top. Matsuki. You're saying Youth E category, this is Youth A category. Youth E just 9 years old. Some of the first competitions available to some of these athletes. Selina Schäuble finds the top. Only the second top on female number 2 then. That puts her in a really good position heading on to boulders 3 and 4. Yeah, these days, just saying, it seems to be younger and younger that the climbers start to compete, and you can see that in the way that they tackle these boulders. They've got the methods down, the technique down, they know all the tricks in the book, even on this modern style. Route reading's amazing on these really complicated boulders. It really is a change over the last few years we've seen. And Emil having another look at that final hold, just firing off. She's got a lot of weight on the left hand as she goes up to that last right hand hold. The hold's not good enough to be able to control the pace, slow it down. Big fall for Lucha. Female 3. And Emil's fighting now then. She's currently sitting in third position, but remember it's the position which determines how many points you've got. So it's really key that she gets as high up on the list as possible. She looks disappointed, but overall 3 tops, 2 tops in 2 attempts will be a pretty decent score, it looks like. As we go into the next rotation of 5 climbers. Luisa Emeleva comes out from Russia, and Nathan Martin. We've seen quite a lot of Nathan this week. Made the Youth A lead finals.
He's been a busy boy. He's got plenty more climbing ahead of him as well. Top of your screens there, that is the provisional results coming through. Petr Ivanov. Someone's going to have to come up with some performance to knock him off. 4 tops. Only required 2 attempts on one of the boulders. The rest of them he got first time.
This could be interesting now. Kind of one of the superstars of this round. Laura Gora starts her fight on women's number 2. We did just see a top on that boulder. Let's see what Laura can do.
Now it's just pausing on the bonus. Power to spare, it would seem. Another top on women's 1. So, first boulder in the men's has been done first time by all but one climber still at this stage. Nathan Martin seemingly untroubled. There he is. The bolt shaved into the back of his head.
Laura Gora just fired up to the last hole but missed it. That was a really good effort. Scratches her head, has a think about what she could have done. We just talked a little bit about the ages that young competitors can climb, and just to come back to that as we find a top. Men's number 4, we're starting to find a few tops now. Pietro Biagini, that looks good.
Only the second top of that boulder.
Yeah, I was just saying, we're talking about the ages that the young climbers can start. In Britain, the youth climbing series there, you can actually start competing at the age of 7. So just when they get to these guys, they could have had years and years of competing under their belts, and these days, just from the experience in Britain anyway, we really give the climbers in all age categories a real competition style on, so they get to climb on all the best holds and volumes even at a young age, and that seems to be why coming through to this stage that they are such rounded performers, incredible athletes. Another top on men's number 3. Looks easy for him. Quick wipe of the brow as he walks off, he'll be happy with that.
Apologies, not the second top of that boulder. 4th top of the boulder. Getting to that stage with 20 athletes coming through. Busy times. Laura Gora's onto the bonus. Women's 2, she's been up here before. This time, can she bring it home? Crosses through the right hand. It's such a powerful boulder, and it's up a very steep section of wall. You can't quite see it, but just above that starting triangular volume where the start circle is, the wall angle increases. You can just see a subtle change. There it is. It's a better angle. Really gets steeper.
I think what's interesting about this women's 2 as well is it's just super complex. These volumes with the good bits on the end, the wraps that you can employ. There's so many different hand methods you can use and different ways to hold the hold. It's always difficult to know if you've got exactly the right hand position, whether you should have it one way round or flip it round to the other way. Employ all the different methods of wraps. These climbers will be well used to these volumes, no doubt. This is looking good now. Laura Lama starts again. She just bumps up to what is a terrible, terrible thumb catch. She tried to go with it with the fingers. If it was a handhold, it would be a shallow mono at best.
Laura Lama pulls back on. You can hear some shouts in the crowd. impressive crowd here in Innsbruck for the time of day on a Sunday afternoon, and given the weather. I'm pleased to say it's not really raining that hard actually, if at all. It was terrible this morning. Improving, as Katja Vidmar, who joined us for the first half an hour or so of our broadcast, was saying. Conditions actually pretty good on the wall, despite the rain. Laura Gora needs this.
Just saying, you can see there on that lower bonus volume, Laura Gora actually used that in 4 different shapes with the hands. That's what I was talking about, the different hand methods on these triangular volumes. Hits it conventionally, then flips it to an undercut wrap before moving up left.
Only 2 tops on that boulder so far. Laura Gora doesn't add her name to the list. Certainly right up there in contention in the overall standings. Hopefully she doesn't come to rue that mistake too much. Didn't quite get it done, came very close. So second to last climbers out now. Brooke Rabatou in the women's, third to last in the men's. Sam Avazu. Remember, we've just got 19 women taking part today, 20 men. So in the women's, we are on to a second last climber.
Yeah, Sam Avazu, another climber we saw in the World Youth Championships lead final. Climbs a really distinctive, powerful, flowy style, so I'm sure this set of boulders might actually suit him. Really dynamic climber. Tajima just having a look at that men's number 3. That is, like we said earlier, really the modern style of boulder, the big double leg swing at the start. Nice top for Selina Schäuble.
Gets women's 3 done. It's been, again, a popular boulder, been done an awful lot more than it hasn't. In fact, only one climber has failed to do it. Brooke Rabatou off to a pretty good start here on women's 1. Right hand firmly there, just needs to readjust it, finds the correct position, checks with the judges, back down.
Yeah, no such issues. We saw a couple of judging issues last night with Margot Hayes on one of the women's boulders in the junior final.
Yeah, sometimes the route setters get a bit of a hard time because it's not considered that they make it clear enough where the finish hole is. I have to say that was a pretty clear one. I think Margot just made a bit of a mistake. And then there was also a bit of a near miss, you could say, with Laura Stuckler on that same finish hold. She was awarded the top.
Big shouts of Gamba Gamba as the Japanese start to fight hard through this tour of 4 boulders. Tajima is on number 3. Let's have another look. Sevi's just found the method now. He looks like he's going for the more of the static method.
That was Alexandra Kaluchka, there she is. That's women's 4. Sandra Lettner, women's 2. 3 climbers left on the left-hand side of the stage and 2 on the right. 5 out of 8 still here with 2 minutes of the rotation remaining. Very, very physical, this women's number 2. Only seen the 2 tops still. Put Sandra Lettner in an excellent position if she can get it done.
Yeah, Sandra Lettner's looking good now. Finds one hand on the top hole. That's good. Top's coming thick and fast now at the latter end of this round of boulders for the Olympic combined. Yeah. Good top for Sandra Lettner.
Youth A Pan as well, getting it done on men's 2. He's a climber that I've mentioned him a couple of times already this week. He's a climber that a lot of people in the know are very excited about.
Georgi Morozov, hands on hips for men's number 4. Can't find the method. Seen a lot of guys standing on the mat looking at those red boulders as it stands. Just really not sure what to do with them. I think what's misleading slightly on that boulder is quite a lot of chalk lower down, where we saw a couple of the guys just trying to sort of canvas their way along the footholds. That seems to have confused a few of the athletes. It's all about standing up. Extreme walking, I would say, that boulder.
Sounds like alpine climbing. Now No joy there. Alexandra on women's 4. Let's have a look at the nice method on number 3. Tried this one earlier. Getting from that position to the next one is proving to be the tricky bit, though.
Oh, I thought he had that. That was a really good save there. We've seen climbers actually do that dynamically, that move, jumping to that lower hold, and we've seen them jump to the lower hold and do it as a 1-2 up to the next big horn. You can see. I think he can do it this method, but he's really running out of time.
That's the problem. Yeah, it's a very time-consuming way of doing the boulder, and I'm pretty sure he's going to burn through his time. It might have been worth just going with the dynamic way because he's going to run out of time.
Quickly jump for a bonus, but he is timed out.
Yeah, he's timed out. Yeah. Bit of a funny decision, really, in a way. It's a really time-consuming way of doing the boulder. You're running out of time. You're almost certainly not going to make it if you employ that method time-wise. Why not just try something a bit new? But never mind. He does not get the top. Ashima Shirashi is there. Right-hand side of the stage. All eyes on her. Most people's favourite, to be fair to say. Earlier this week completed the triple-double, 3rd Youth World Championship in a row where she's won both the bouldering and the lead. What can she do in the combined? Youngest person in history to climb 9A outdoors. Got that ticked at 13. Most people going down a climbing wall for the first time and having a go on a top rope for the first time at 13. She was climbing 9A.
Ashima Shirashi then, no issues on women's number 1. We definitely expect that. Absolute breeze to the top, less than 40 seconds to get that done.
Yeah, placed 13th in the speed, Ashima. You would expect that will be her biggest score. It would be a huge surprise if it wasn't her biggest score in the combined rankings. 11.98 she clocked, but we'll see if she can make up the ground. There's no doubt that with a 13th position on your scorecard, you're already chasing somewhat.
Yeah, what's been interesting is the fight between her and Brooke Rabatou, also from the United States. Both came to the same point in their lead final earlier on in the World Championships. They're really neck and neck in this competition.
Yeah, and Brooke coming in with a big advantage, actually. She was 9th in the speed. 9th versus 13 could have a big effect down the line.
Yeah, with them so close in the speed, Ashima Shirashi's definitely going to have to pull something special out the bag here and hope that Brooke fails on a few of the boulders.
Scores just updating live there, you could see him.
Elena Kravelskaya frantically brushing the slab. It's caused all sorts of issues on women's number 4. Valentina Aguada is currently leading the way. She found a top and a flash on number 4. Incredible. Obviously enjoys that style, or she managed to find a method really quickly.
2 minutes 20 left on the clock. Stage not far off empty. 2 Russian climbers out on the women's boulders. Meanwhile, focus on Mikkel. Men's 4 creeping his way leftwards. Still not seeing a lot of traffic. 4 tops. This boulder scene at this stage.
See just the results as they stand at the moment. It's Petr Ivanov from Bulgaria leading the way. 4 tops in 5 attempts. An absolutely storming round for him.
Just to let you know, our clock on the top right of the screen, that's actually about 20 seconds behind the official clock. The climbers now have 1 minute 30 left to climb, so we're 16 seconds behind on our clock.
You can see that lady there, Elena Kravelskaya, looking good. She's currently sitting in 6th position overall. 2 tops in 2 attempts. Oh, just heel slips, but manages to save it. It's all about this top move, however. Needs to build the feet up. Needs to find a good placement for one of the feet, smearing through that section of volume where the bonus hold is. Oh, just fires up with the right hand. That wasn't going to work.
So, as I said, our clock 16 seconds behind. I can tell you Mikkel's pulled on for another go on to men's 4. Louisa Emma Laver is not going to have another go at women's 2. I've just seen her on the stage heading back in. Can we see a 5th top on this men's number 4? It's so it's so tenuous to watch. You can kind of feel every movement the climber makes. They're just millimeters away from coming off at any stage. But this does look promising. There comes a point where you've just got to go, and when you get it right, that's your reward.
Yeah, that boulder's quite interesting because it's not really going down in the method that we discussed earlier. It seems to be that the climbers can just fire off the lower foothold rather than going to the erect and standing up on that little jib next to the bonus hold. Seems to be that they can just reach it off the bottom footholds, and this is the real challenge for the route setters with these young climbers. The Youth A, the height differences is so extreme, and they really cater for the bottom end of that rather than the top end. We talked about it a lot yesterday in the junior competition, Kai-proofing the boulders. Kai Leitner, absolutely ginormous and so difficult with climbers coming through so many different heights.
So we're now done with women's 1. And our last climber, Philip Schenk, ranked 1st overall from the Youth World Championship, is out onto men's 1. He'll be the last climber to attempt that boulder. Polina Aksanova did not compete in the speed climbing yesterday, and she's not competing here in the bouldering, so 19 women and 20 men. We're done, as I say, with women's 1. Won't be seeing that again. Brooke Rabatu's out onto women's 2. And Philip Schenk, the top seed, if you like, out onto men's 1.
Nice top for Sandra Letner. Women's number 3, flashed it, no problems at all. Over a minute left to 3 minutes, 4 minutes left of her time. She absolutely cruised that boulder. She can head back and have a look at trying to find a top on women's number 4. See the full wall here. Top's coming thick and fast now. Philip Schenk on the right hand side of your screen there. It's Brooke Rabatu fighting on women's number 2.
Philip Schenk gets it done on men's 1. There he is. You'd expect nothing less. It's been, interesting enough, it's been flashed by 19 out of 20 climbers. That boulder been done first time by 19 out of 20 climbers. Women's 2, where we can see Brooke Rabatu right now proving much more problematic. 3 tops on that so far. Can Brooke make it 4? She put herself in an extremely strong position if she could.
This is looking good from Brooke. She looks so composed up there on such a physically hard boulder. Releases the right toe, fires up with the right hand. Brooke Rabatu, fine work, finds the 4th top of that women's number 2.
Yeah, nicely done as well from Brooke. Just checking with the judges, as I mentioned last night, when you have 1 or 2 issues with top outs. We see it a lot from Shauna Coxey in the Senior Bouldering World Cups. Just turns, has a look at the judge just to confirm. You can smack the wall, fist pump, beat your chest, do whatever you like, but just get the top confirmed first.
Well, we saw in the lead climbing in the Youth B, Colin Duffy from the USA fist bumping on top of the lead route before getting the chain clipped, but did look super cool.
Did look super cool. Might have become a YouTube sensation if he dropped it before clipping the top draw though. Risky manoeuvre.
That's nice. Nicely done. Great slab climbing there from Mizuki Tajima. Just kept his composure all the way across the slab. That was a real display of slab climbing there. Selina Schäuble then. Seems to be the number of athletes we're seeing just slipping off the left heel on that move.
Sam Eversou nails the jump on men's 2.
Yeah, we were just saying that Sam Eversou really likes a dynamic style, and he definitely likes men's number 2. Not too many tops on this one today. Gets the match. Good work from Sam Eversou. Definitely help his campaign.
And again, check with the judges. He was actually already on the way down by the time he remembered to check with the judge. As you said, it was a great moment from Colin Duffy. It was almost reminiscent. Have you ever seen the footage of Michael Jordan when he closed his eyes when he had a free throw in the NBA? One of his opposing players had been giving him some stick and he had a free throw, so he looked at the opposing player, winked, closed his eyes, threw it, netted it. It's only bragging if you can't back it up. That's what I say.
Selina Schäuble then, can she get the left foot to stick? She trying to use that. There it is now. I was just going to say, she's trying to use that thumb catch for the fingers. can't seem to get the legs raised up the wall, can't seem to scurry the feet up.
She's the only climber left on the stage. 30 seconds left on the rotation. We're already at the stage where we're saying goodbye to boulders. Numbers 1 for the men and women now done.
Yes, Selena Scheuer was already sitting in second position. Obviously, you don't need to get the numbers down to get through to a bouldering final here. They're going to move on to the lead, and it's your overall position, your score from this round that is important. The lower the number, the better. As the scores are multiplied together, give you overall ranking in this Olympic combined competition. As we head out for the next rotation, Ashima Shirashi comes back to join the party. Women's number 2. We've just seen a fine top from Brooke Rabatu on that one.
From now on, it's going to be a maximum of 6 climbers on the stage. No more action on boulder 1 for the women or for the men. Ashima out onto number 2. Just seen Brooke Rabatu top it.
Yeah, if Shima finds a flash on this women's number 2, she'll really stamp her authority. Nobody topped that boulder yet. Peter Lucan got its second go. Selena Scheuer third go. Brooke, who we just saw second go.
Yeah, it's a good point you make, Mike. Flash would put her in an extraordinary position. We haven't got anyone with 4 tops, let alone 4 flashes in the women's competition.
This is where it gets really interesting, this Olympic combined format. Because saying Ashima did well in the speed, but definitely didn't win didn't find the quickest time. But she, in theory, would be the favourite going into this, with already the youth world champion, multiple years running as well, in lead and boulder. The speed has to factor into things now with this Olympic format.
Ashima Shirashi 13th in the speed, but can put herself in a very, very strong position with the flash here, as Mike rightly said. Not been flashed this second boulder. The best we've seen is second go.
Keita Doty looking seriously strong on men's number 2. He was just dangling his legs for a little bit there, just having a look at his different methods. Japan looking really strong.
That's the 4th flash of that boulder. Ashima, can she get the first flash of women's 2? Stamp her authority all over this combined format. She's really having to fight.
It's really close, that finish hold. We've seen success from other athletes going over with the right hand. Ashima was quite conventionally placed with the left hand, and she was really powering off the right thumb. That's why she ended up going up with the left hand. Luisa Mileva then looks like she's got a nice casual top on women's number 3.
Let's have a look at Shooter Tanaka, men's 4. 2 minutes 40 left on the clock for him. We're up to date with our clock, by the way. So precise. This boulder just requires absolute precision in every movement. Slight miscalculation, and that is the result.
We have seen 6 tops on men's number 4. Good round from the route setters. Perfect scores pretty much through. 4 tops in 5, 4 tops in 6, then down to 3 tops. This top 3 in the men's category. Ashima Shirashi's back on there on women's number 2. 2 minutes left. Let's see if she can get to that high point, at which hand she'll end up going with on to the last move.
I thought she could do the boulder first time. I definitely think she can do it in the time allowance. She didn't get it first time. It's taken a pretty decent break.
Really looking at a different sequence here. She really seems to like this hold on the right hand volume with the right hand. Not too keen on this hold for the left hand though. Now she looks at a different method. Really calculating option here. So complicated, this boulder. She needs to plant the right foot and fire up to the finish hold with the right hand ideally. This is Ashima though. She could easily go up with the left hand. Oh, this time gets it done. Holds the swing. That was nicely done. Ashima Shirashi really showing her power in the bouldering. Took the overall World Championships here this week already in the Youth A category. Gets boulder number 2 done in 2 attempts. Matches Brooke Rabatu going into the 3rd and 4th boulders. Shooter Tanaka then just trying to fight the balance. You can see the right leg goes up, flags out. It's Laura Rigora now on to women's number 4. She's currently sitting down in 9th position with 2 tops in 3 attempts. a real specialist in the lead competition as well. So now will be really looking to push herself up the leaderboard here. If she can find a top here, shoot herself up into provisional 5th position.
Shooters back onto men's 4, as I say. Precision the key here. Miscalculations extremely costly. Let's keep an eye on Laura Goret. She's decided not to have another go. You can just see her there on the right of your shot. She'll head back in. She's done all she can.
Just 4 seconds left for Shooter. He's going to completely time out here, unfortunately. Just on a side note, I've seen someone walk through the arena with shorts and t-shirt on, so the weather must be improving, in his mind at least.
Must be made of stern stuff. Probably Scottish.
Women's boulder 2's finished then. Philip Schenk is going to start his campaign on men's number 2.
Brooke Rabitu's there, just to the left of Philip in the pink top and the black leggings. Team USA. Youth A Pan, men's 4. Petr Ivanov still holding the lead. Should we really be surprised with the score of 4 tops in 5 attempts? Can anybody complete the clean sweep? Rabitou seemingly untroubled at this stage by number 3.
Yeah, Brooke Rabitou seems to be on an absolute flyer here. That'll be 3 tops in 4 attempts, I believe, for her.
Oh, just had to. I thought she was just steadying herself. She already had the top in hand.
Yeah, she's going for a little down climb there to try and save the knees off the top a little bit. Sam Havasu absolutely flying here. The speed that this guy climbs is unbelievable. So dynamic, so strong. We said at the start of the competition we think this round's going to suit him. It certainly seems to be the case at the moment. Power now off the left palm, left shoulder.
Yeah, he flew across that dynamic move at the start. It's like the Roadrunner. I think if there'd been another move, he probably could have done that as well. He probably could have topped number 4 from the speed he came across number 3. If Youth A Pan hadn't been in his way, he might have gone straight on.
Yeah, what's going to be interesting when Sam gets onto that men's number 4, that is the complete opposite style to the other 3 boulders, so he has to calm himself down and really bring it to a very, very slow and methodical pace. Youth A Pan has a look at this finish move. This seems to be the method that's worked. Another success on men's number 4.
Philip Schenk's close on men's 2 as well. Here he is.
That's going to put Pan right up into the top 3 positions.
Philip Schenk, cracking start for him. We'll confirm the attempts in just a second.
Yeah, Pan drops into 3rd position, 4 tops in 7 attempts. So, Petr Ivanov still sitting in the 1st position with 4 tops in 5, but it looks like 4 tops is going to get you those top 3 to 6 positions, I would say. Sandra Lettner also, we've seen this a number of times on the women's number 4, managing to get through this lower section. Really looking forward to seeing the shorter climbers, Brooke and Ashima on this one. Sandra Lettner just fired up to the right, that top right hand, and it really seems to be one of those holds you cannot go quickly to, even though you really need to. It feels like your body wants to go fast because your feet are so tucked underneath you. Just got to keep your composure as slow as you possibly can to that last hold.
Just mentioned about Philip Schenk. That was his first go on men's 2. He came down with about 3 minutes left on the clock, which made me wonder if he might have had an attempt we hadn't seen, but he hadn't. That was his first go. Got the first boulder first go, got the second boulder first go as well. Keita Dohe did the same, so did Nathan Martin. Nathan Martin also got the 3rd boulder as well, also on his first go. So really getting into the business part of this bouldering round here. Youth A combined format here in Innsbruck. We've already had the Youth World Championships, we've had the Juniors and the Youth B combined.
Sandra Lettner sticks it with the right hand this time. That was good. She just needs to control the feet. Oh, nicely done. Incredible contact strength on the right hand. Fired up with speed to the top hold. Managed to hit that hole pretty much dead centre rather than on the bottom right hand side where the chalk is. See the force she hit it with. That was real conviction there for Sandra Lettner. She means business. She's currently sitting in 5th, but that will push her up to 1st position. Knox, there she goes, Knox Valentino Guarda off the top. 4 tops in 10 attempts. Can anybody chase that one down with a strong climber still to come out? Rabbatu will be next on that boulder.
Yeah, Louisa Emeleva and Ashima Shirashi, the other 3 climbers who could close her down. Remember, it's ranking here. So every attempt, every bonus attempt could be absolutely crucial. It's all about ranking points. In a boulder semi-final where we normally see this format, it doesn't matter too much if you're 9th, 10th or 15th or 16th. It could be absolutely crucial here. So we just await the climbers and they're out onto the stage. Everything on the left hand side of the stage now. We're done with the right. Ashima Shirashi's out onto women's 3. Louisa Emeleva, you can see her in the red jacket. There she is, just figuring out number 4, or trying to figure it out.
Ashima Shirashi then having a good look round the corner. Oh, goes for the triple catch. She could almost held it with a double on the first of those right-hand volumes. Good display of power there from Ashima. One of the shorter climbers in the competition, but got bags of power through the legs on the jump. Ashima's just in cruise control here at the moment. Just eyeing up concentration. A true professional, Ashima Shirashi. It was easy for her, but she didn't make any mistakes, no foot slips. You can see the concentration on her feet as she was going towards the top there.
Yeah, this is Nathan Martin, men's 4. I think a lot of people felt that this Youth A was between Brooke Rabbitoh and Ashima Shirashi in the women's, and I do wonder if Brooke's marginally better performance in the speed, 9th place to Ashima's 13th, could be absolutely crucial. Obviously atop their men's 4, Nathan Martin. Yeah, I wonder if that could be extremely crucial. We shall see. Time will tell. A lot of competition still to come here in Innsbruck.
Keita Dewey looks really good now on men's number 3. The way he did that running jump across the bottom was super impressive. Such a cool move. Just actually spotted a little smiley face on the end of that finishing hold. Roots Headers have obviously sense of humour up there.
Yeah, well spotted. That was number 4. I think he'll take that one.
Yeah, he was just having a little look around at the top there.
Just to confirm, that was his first go, and that means he has a perfect score. 4 boulders, 4 flashes. Nathan Martin.
Keita's top there. Really seem to enjoy that bottom section. Louisa Emeleva then just looking for options with the right foot. We've seen successes with the right toe catch. Doesn't seem to have spotted it yet, but looking like she's got a half decent right heel hook out there. Just pings off. Just needs to find the right method there. She's looking frustrated by the start of this women's number 4.
Just to confirm, once again, our clock just behind time is 27 seconds behind the official time. So that is 2 minutes now left for the climbers. As I say, 28 seconds we're just behind. And ominously enough for the rest of the competition, Ashima Shirashi and Brooke Rabbitoh in 3rd and 4th respectively, and haven't even yet attempted the last boulder.
That top from Nathan Martin as well was incredible, because that's 4 tops in 4 attempts for him.
Yep.
I think that's why he was looking around at the top there, saying, well, what's all the fuss about? Is that it?
Give me more. He'll get more this afternoon in the league climbing. So it's all happening quite quickly, especially in the men's side of things. Now 4 climbers with 4 tops, all separated by attempts. But Nathan Martin, 4 tops, 4 attempts. Petr Ivanov, 4 tops, 5 attempts. Pietro Biagini, 4 tops, 6 attempts. And Yufei Pan, 4 tops, 7 attempts.
Yeah, if the route setters walked off the stage now, job done, they'll be high-fiving themselves. Can't get much better than that. 4 in 4, 4 in 5, 4 in 6, 4 in 7.
I'm just looking down the order. I don't see a single tie as it stands in the men's competition. We've got one in 17th. Other than that, yeah, pretty spot on job. Louisa
Emeleva then seems to find that right toe hook now. We're seeing the climbers going up to this bonus holder and then going again to the holder on the black bonus. She seems to be looking for that now. Got to keep that right toe in. Fires off as she goes up for it. I just keep saying it's going to be really interesting to see the shorter climbers on that, because I don't think you're going to be able to keep that right toe in as she goes up to that first voltomic volume on the right hand side. 28 seconds left. So we've reset the clock here.
And as we focus on the women's competition, we were just passing the route setters on the back, and I will continue in that theme. In the women's, we've got a tie in 7th, a tie in 11th, and a tie in 14th, but otherwise excellent separation of the climbers. So nice work from the route setters. And Louisa Emeleva, no success on number 4.
Yeah, not the best round from her perspective really. 14th, 2 tops in 4 attempts. She just looks frustrated as she walked off. Has to go and reset now and get herself ready for the lead competition. Rabatou comes out for the final boulder for her.
And I mentioned it earlier, Ashima currently sitting in 3rd, Brooke in 4th, and they're yet to attempt the 4th boulder. Brooke out on it now, she can take the lead here. These two, as I mentioned, most people's favourites. Speed climbing could be the key because they've been so hard to separate in just about everything else here in Innsbruck. Philip Schenk is there on men's 3.
Sam Overzoo is also on men's number 4. Impressive top for him, a flash on men's number 3 that Philip Schenk's now on. Nathan Martin's going to be hard to catch, 4 tops in 4 attempts. Sam Overzoo can't do it.
Yeah, Philip Schenk, I don't think he's had an attempt yet. Could catch him. If this is his first attempt, he's still the option there for him to end up with 4 tops in 4 attempts.
Here goes Brooke then. Interestingly, she's found a very similar toe hook for the right foot, but it's on the next hold up. It's good thinking here from Brooke. Incredible display of power between the 2 feet, and still comes up short on that next hold. She's just taking a step back now to have a think about that next boulder.
Philip Schenk lining it up here. Just about holds that move over.
Great save.
Really nicely done. Opted not to do the second half of the run. We've seen climbers carry on in one movement to the hole he's on to now. But his method works. He just about held that. Slaps out right hand, left hand. Nicely done. And as an added bonus, a few minutes extra rest.
Yeah, the climbers seem to have got really to grips with that men's number 3 now. We saw a lot of climbers struggling earlier on in the competition with the method. Oh, as Brooke Rabatou fires up to the right hand. Incredible contact strength on the right hand to skip the toe hooks completely and just give it maximum up to the right hand.
That was Philip Schenk's first goal, by the way, so he's still got a perfect scorecard. 3 tops and 3 attempts from him. Brooke off. But yeah, 3 tops and 3 attempts from him. He'll go on to number 4 with the opportunity to tie for first with Nathan Martin.
Brooke then just asking for a brush.
Brooke already guaranteed at least 4th in the boulder rankings. Could do an awful lot better than that though.
Decides to go for the brushing herself. Very close to the end of this Youth A Bouldering round there in the Olympic combined event. Not a huge break after this. Climbers have to reset pretty quickly before heading into the lead competition.
Yeah, it's just coming up for 2 o'clock here in Innsbruck. 4:30, they'll be on the lead wall. So not much rest period. Hard one to manage. It's a hard one to manage in itself, but it's also the first time they will have managed it. And I think that's part of it as well. They'll have a good idea from training and competing how much they like to cool down, how much they like to warm up. But with such a short break, it's definitely an element of discovery for them.
So this is crucial now for Brooke. I think this could put her in a really good position and make it hard for Ashima to catch her in the lead competition with the overall scoring. Fires up to the finish hole, just comes up short. I'm sure she'll have another go there. There's a high chance that she could find success because she seems to have found a really clean method through the volumes. We saw it with Sandra Lettner earlier from the Austrian team. Had a number of burns onto that finishing hold. Got it done in the end. She's currently sitting in the top spot with 3 attempts on that final boulder. She actually hit the finish hold 3 times before sticking it.
Sam Avazu could do with this one. He's currently sitting in 6th, but he could join the 4 top club if he tops this one.
Brooke then with just 23 seconds left is in a good position for a top here. She just needs to stay calm. She's got time to find the top. Goes fast. Oh, she hit exactly the same spot as Sandra Lettner did. That's why I was impressed with Sandra's effort on that boulder, because the way that Sandra stuck to it was really, really impressive. But Brooke Rabatou hits it and just fires off. No top for her. Opens the door for Ashima a little bit coming into the last boulder.
Yeah, it looked like she slightly rushed that last move, Brooke. Time was ticking, but with 13 seconds to go to do the move, probably could have taken the bit longer, just inched a bit closer, but she doesn't top number 4. Sam Avazu does not top number 4 either. Sam Avazu, who's 3rd in the speed.
Penultimate climber out on men's number 4, then Keita Doi. And the final climber out, Ashima Shirashi, on women's number 4.
I was just about to say about Sam Avazu, 3rd in the speed climbing. Superb result for him. And my oh my would have been in a strong position if he'd managed to top that 4th boulder. As it is, it doesn't affect him too much. He would have moved up to either 4th or 5th. He's currently sitting in 6th, but as I said, every position could be crucial here. Won't be too unhappy with 6th, especially after good results in the speed, but yeah, could have been really in control had he got that one done.
It's really interesting as Shima just spending a lot of time on the mats here, prepping the boulder. Keita looks like he finds the top. He does. Once again, that hold next to the boulder's not really seeing any action, but
it looks like he puts his hand on his chest. Looks like there was a bit of a moment there, little bit of an emotional finish. Ashima just clarifying something with the judges.
So this is where we saw Brooke moving it up the right toe up to that starting position hold. Ashima Shirashi, excuse me, off early there. Only 3 minutes left here. She's got some work to do here, Ashima. Currently sitting in 4th, just 1 spot behind Brooke. She finished behind Brooke also in the speed. And then remember, if you saw the live stream back in the Youth A lead final, finished on the same hold here. So Ashima and Brooke going really neck and neck.
Yeah, and Brooke Rabatou got the bonus hold on this boulder. She got it first go as well, so if Ashima wants to overtake her, she needs a top here. Ashima currently sitting in 4th. If she walked off the stage now, 4th place, Brooke would be in 3rd.
Now she finds the method of the right toe, drops into that right hold where we saw Brooke do. Brooke found that method straight away, so other taller climbers using the toe hook on the right, but the route setters seem to have left some options available for the shorter climbers. Ashima now moves into the bonus. So focused, so much tension on that right toe now. We saw Brooke firing up to this next hold, hitting it. Oh, great work for there from Ashima, shows her strength. There's a thumb catch available for her there. You can see her just dragging down slightly, got a bump up. Ashima, she'll fit into this top shape quite nicely now. We've seen climbers firing for this top hole. What can Ashima do? Trying to find some options, but that left-hand undercut is so terrible. She's really not happy up here at the moment, looking for the bottom right of that volume. Oh, just slips. Went for it, tried to save. Falling off on the way back down. Such a strange move, that top hole. Seems to be really hard to find the right body position to move upwards.
Yeah, it hasn't looked too bad when climbers have really hit the sweet spot, but Ashima just missed it that time, and you can see there she's the only climber left on the stage. Keita Dohi's already headed back in. Successful top for him on men's number 4. But I think Ashima can do this boulder for sure. She wasn't too far off then, nailed some of the trickier moves lower down, and I think definitely potential for a top for Ashima, and it could transform her ranking here. Remember, this is the 3-time in 3 years running youth world champion in bouldering and lead.
Ashima really needs 1 next to her name at the end of this bouldering round.
She does. Not the best round for her in speed, perhaps as expected. She's not a speed climber as yet. Something tells me someone this talented should be able to learn it relatively quickly. The times will come tumbling down. But yeah, not a great performance in the speed. And as Mike said, a 1 next to her name after the bouldering, which I think, I have to say, most people would have said she was favourite to get, would make a big difference as she climbs out of our camera shot. Hopefully we can see where she's gone. There we go. Cameraman's obviously had a long 10 days. Launches for the top and just misses it.
It's not going to be a Shima Chirash. She's out of time here. You can see the disappointment. Hands on the hips, walks off. There's a high chance that she knows that she's really going to struggle to win the overall Olympic combined now. Possibly the greatest female rock climber of all time. Already at 16 years old, Ashima walks off, and that does conclude the women's competition. Just Philip Schenk from Italy out then, the final climber of this round of 24 boulders in part of this Olympic combined competition, heading into the lead just after this.
Yeah, Philip Schenk just giving them a brush. Big surprise in the women's competition. Ashima Shirashi not great in the speed yesterday, but I think most people just thought, well, she'll get it done in the bouldering the lead. She certainly hasn't. Brooke Rabatou has finished ahead of her in both disciplines so far. It will be tight,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
She was going to have a huge score going into the lead. 4th in the bouldering.
4th in the bouldering, 13th in the speed. I'm just watching Mike Langley trying to work out that that's 52.
Yeah, I was just concentrating on something else there, actually.
iPhones out all round. So Philip Schenk here, he is. We've just seen most people's favourite in the women's competition, not top boulder 4. Philip Schenk has been out for an awful long time on the mats. I'm pretty sure this is his first attempt.
Yeah, we saw that from Ashima taking a long time on the mats. In the end, it looked like Ashima could have done with an extra go. Hit the finish hold with conviction once, but hit it in the wrong spot.
Sam Amadou didn't get this boulder done. He'll be 7th after 3rd in the speed. 7th in the bouldering for him. Philip Schenk is out onto men's 4. This is the last action we'll see here on the boulders. It'll be lead this afternoon, 4:30 p.m. We'll be back.
Philip Shempman looking to join Nathan Martin with 4 tops in 4 attempts. He has already taken away the World Championship this week already.
Yeah, another in a similar position to where Ashima found herself. He was 15th in the speed, pretty lowly rank, but again, so strong in lead and boulder that you'd expect him to be able to make up a lot of that gap, but he really needs this one. Just confirm the women's rankings for you. Sandra Lettner finishes as the only female with 4 tops. In the men's competition, there are 5 climbers with 4 tops. Can Philip Schenk become the 6th?
It's a really cool move here. It gives us, with that close-up, a good insight. You have to push off the roof with the right hand, and you have to push off slowly to be able to get to that bonus hold. Push off too fast, a bit too much excitement. You see that just as perfectly measured by the route setters. As the right hand releases, the left hand drops into the undercut crimp. This is looking good. Philip Schenk now could put him in first position heading into the lead from the bouldering. Just got to roll over with the right hand now, control it. Got a lot of chalk on that volume. Needs to hit the underside on the bottom right. That's nice, wobble slightly, but gets it done.
Slight heart in the mouth moment there for Philip Schenk, but the job is done. 4 tops for him. Superb performance. We already saw Nathan Martin get them all done and all first go. Petr Ivanov also got them all done, required 5 attempts. Pietro Biagini got them all done, ditto Keita Dohi and Yu Fei Pan and Philip Schenk. Perfect score for him. 4 tops, all of them flashes in the women's competition. It was only Sandra Lettner who got all 4 done. 3 tops for 5 climbers below her, and Ashima Shirashi and Brooke Rabatou only 3rd and 4th. Laura Agora, might have expected to see her slightly higher up the order. She'll be needing to make up for that on the lead wall. Nathan Martin, Philip Schenk, perfect scores for them. Four tops, all of them flashes. Four tops also for Petr Ivanov, Pietro Biagini, Keita Dohi and Yufei Pan. Sam Avazu close, ditto David Pokolruaz and Nikolai Uznik. You can see a bit lower down the order there, Georgi Morozov, another climb we would have expected to see slightly higher up the order, but he'll still got the lead climbing to come. So after 10 action-packed days here in Innsbruck, our last event is coming up this afternoon. It is the Youth A combined lead. It will take place at 6:30 p.m. We hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.